Bellinger had a really good year last year. He finished 10th in the MVP voting. This was after 2 dreadful years. But if you look deep inside the numbers, which the Yankees are going to do, and I don't blame them, his hard hit contact rate was not high. He was in the bottom quarter of all of baseball. He had a very high BABIP, which means that he hit in good luck. That's batting average and balls put in play. But he also hit very well in late inning pressure situations. So there's things to like and things not to like, because the guy has won an MVP with the Dodgers, and they finished 10th last year. But also the Dodgers, who are a very forward-thinking, great organization, they let him go for nothing. They didn't even tender him after that second bad year. That's why he signed with the Cubs, a make-good contract, and he made good. So it's a little bit of a gamble. So if you listen to John Heyman of the New York Post on MLB Network yesterday, he said the Yankees are going to get 2 of the 3 of Yamamoto, Soto, and Bellinger. Now, if you ask me, well, Michael, which 2 would you take? Be Yamamoto, and it would be Soto. Soto's 25 years old. He's going to cost a lot of money, but he's 25 years old. You're going to have to trade people for him as well. Bellinger is totally free except for money. But the one thing that came out is that Jeff Passan, I was texting with him today, he kind of thinks the Yankees are out on Ohtani. Now, I know a lot of people are going to get upset with that, but I'll tell you this. I think that's the right move. If you gave me a choice between Ohtani or Soto,
right.
Now, Ohtani is the bigger draw, the bigger star. Soto might be the better player, and he's 6 years younger.
Yankees shouldn't have to worry about draw, right?
No, but you want to fill the stadium, and you want to get ratings on yes.
But not at the expense of who you think might be better for your team to win.
Well, and I think that's why they're probably leaning towards Soto rather than Ohtani. And also, everybody, I keep saying this, and nobody seems to let it sink into in their skulls. You can't get Ohtani as long as Stanton is here. You can't. Stanton cannot play the outfield on a daily basis. Ohtani is simply a DH.
Well, he could play I would give him a chance.
But he can't next year.
No.
Not with his arm.
But I'm saying long-term, for the length of Stanton's contract, I think he'd be better off with Ohtani playing the outfield than Stanton. I mean, he has played it before, very little, but he's an athlete. I think he'd figure it out.
Yeah, but if you want him to be a pitcher and a hitter, I don't think you can push him to the level of also playing the outfield. So I don't think they're interested in Ohtani because, first of all, it's going to be a $50 million a year contract. And the money that you have invested in Rodon, Judge, Cole, and Stanton is a lot of money. And I know what people are rolling their eyes right now in their car. Don't do that. It's dangerous, by the way. And they're saying, the Yankees have all the money. They could spend. No, that's not how business works. See how it worked out for Steve Cohen last year, spending all that money? It didn't work, and he lost a lot of money. Now, losing money for Steve Cohen means nothing. Losing money for the Steinbrenner family means a little bit more than it means to Steve Cohen. So I don't think the Yankees are just going to spend willy-nilly, which is also, it's going to be interesting to see if they go for Soto. Soto with arbitration. He has 1 arbitration year left. That's $33 million he's expected to make. Then after that, Scott Boras is his agent. No. He's going to want close to $50 million a year.
And you can't lose him in free agency with what you're going to have to give up.
Right.
And you're probably going to have to.
It's interesting. It's an interesting take, and we'll see what they do. But Heyman, who I respect tremendously, thinks they're going to get 2 of those 3. I mean, you get Yamamoto and Soto, or Yamamoto and Bellinger, you get the fan base excited. You just do. But if it were me, I'd get Soto to play left field, and I'd get Kiermaier to play center field until Dominguez is ready. Kiermaier's a good player, and he's a great defender. So you've got, and Soto's not a great defender, which people will find out if he plays every day in left field at Yankee Stadium. Not a great defender. He's an otherworldly hitter. So there aren't very perfect players. But as a hitter, he's a perfect player.
But if he's not a great defender, and he's a really good hitter, what makes Soto the better play than Ohtani?
Because you can play him in the outfield, and he doesn't. And he's 25. Ohtani's going to be 31 next year. You get 6 more years of prime player.
But Ohtani, offensively, is he significantly better than so? I mean,
no, he's not.
He's not?
Overall, no, he's not.
Just show me the last few years.
But you know that you sign Ohtani, right?
Yeah.
It's 10 years, $500 million.
And that's as far as it's gone down to?
It might even go more. All you need is Steve Cohen to want him and the Dodgers to want him. And then the bidding begins.
What was the number going to be before the injury?
I said, if you remember when he got injured,
you said it wasn't
not going to affect it at all, and it's not going to affect it at all. It's not going to affect it at all because he's going to be a pitcher in 2025. He's going to make $50 million a year.
All you're doing is losing 1 year, so what's the major?
Right, and he's going to hit anyway. So he's going to hit 45 home runs next year.
Because he's an animal.
He's a great player.
Which, by the way, I'm just saying, Don, he's a great player. He's an animal. He wants to play all the time. And of all the people you just mentioned, you talk about excitement. I mean, you agree or disagree, both of you. You can talk about the excitement coming to the ballpark with Soto. Ohtani's triple the excitement. Not even close.
Yeah, but if the Yankees are winning, they're going to fill the building anyway. And you'll hear from a lot of people.
That's a big if these days.
But there is negatives. I've always said this. There's still a negative to a guy that can pitch and hit. Now, he's going to have the Tommy John, so that'll be out of the way. But still, pitchers get hurt all the time. And then now it affects your hitter. If it's one of those injuries where he can't hit because he injured himself pitching, now you lose 2 spots.
Now, one little warning flare about Ohtani. He calls his shots. You talk about Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
He when he wants to work out, how he wants to work out, when he wants to pitch.
I mean, he left Anaheim last year before the final out of the last game.
Without even and doesn't talk to the media. He's got a translator who essentially is his consigliere, and you've got to adhere to his rules. That's all there is to it. He's not a selfish guy, but this is what works for him. He's taking on something that no player has ever done before. He knows what to do. He eats when he eats. He has to go to bed at a certain time. He has to leave the ballpark at a certain time. He gets there at a certain time. Everything is really, really planned out. That's tough for a lot of teams. And he can only pitch once every 6 days, so you have to have an extra starter when you get him.
Let's not forget, guys, the reason they don't have beards and all that is they don't want individuals. So are you going to give all that money to a guy that is going to walk a different walk than everybody else in the clubhouse, including Aaron Judge?
That would be interesting too, right?
But he's so talented that he could do. He's not a bad guy, so it doesn't rub people.
And neither is Judge, so they'd be all right.
Judge is great with
But here's the thing: even with Trout, it was probably Ohtani could do it. But this is Judge's team, and it'll always be Judge's team. So how would it be that Judge is the captain, adhering to all the rules, and here's this guy coming and going as he pleases?
It would be,
God forbid if he doesn't live up to expectations doing that.
But I'll tell you what, Judge is I know Judge is a great guy. It would be fascinating to put it's Judge's team thing to the test. Because
it would be his team.
No. Right, hear me out for a second before you.
Of course, I listen to every word you say.
Before you live, just Ohtani comes over. They somehow get it done. Mm-hmm. You have the 2024 Bash Brothers, right? And season starts out. Judge is having sort of pedestrian, maybe somewhat injury-riddled year. Ohtani's batting and on pace for 50 home runs, and people have never seen this guy before.
Okay.
After 6, if that goes on for a couple of months, as much as we can say it's Judge's team, it would put his ego to the test. There's no way around it.
So I have the perfect return serve for you.
Go ahead.
Homegrown Yankees always outrate other players. Well, Dave Winfield's a Hall of Famer. Don Mattingly was beloved. Never lost that standing in the clubhouse, even though Winfield was awesome. Alex Rodriguez won 2 MVPs with the Yankees. It was still Derek's team. Homegrown Yankees, they get the tie.
And also, and maybe it doesn't matter to a lot of people, but there will be struggles. Remember, Ohtani isn't going to the playoffs. He's carrying a team to a championship. That's not the way baseball works. After a tough loss, who's talking to the media after the game?
True.
It's going to be Aaron Judge that's going to be answering the questions whenever there's a controversy. So when you talk about the face of the team, yeah, he might be better statistically than Judge, and we'll see. That's not a given. But even if he is, who's the guy talking to the media after the game? Who's everybody rallying around? Judge is still going to be his team. In a lot of ways, it was still Curry's team, even though Durant was the better player. It was still Steph Curry's team.
It was in that way. It absolutely was. I'm just saying there would be days. Aaron Judge is a human being. And if he struggled on the same team with Ohtani and those light bulbs were flashing every night, it'll still test you. He's a human.
I got a message yesterday. Nestor Cortez got married, and a lot of the Yankees, past and present, were there.
Okay.
Michael, you didn't get invited? People don't understand what athletes think about media. I mean, I wouldn't have been asked to clean up at the wedding.
I thought you were going to go because everybody was commenting off the pictures. Judge wasn't there.
Judge was not there, and neither was Cole. And I'm trying to find out why. Maybe they had other commitments, but Stanton showed up. Josh Donaldson was there. Severino, Chapman. But it was conspicuous that, the two biggest players on the team were not there. And my broadcaster, yeah.
And especially weird because Sterling and Susan had such a good time.
Yeah, they had a blast.
You're not going to believe the pigs in a blanket.
Yeah, and then Rucco. He tear up the dance floor.
Do you know that in my this will be my 33rd year with the Yankees, I was invited to one Yankee wedding. Steve Farr, a reliever. Great time, too.
Yeah. One wedding.
His nickname was Bridge 2.
What?
His nickname was Bridge 2.
Bridge too far. Bridge too far.
That's
Oscar Gamble, isn't it?
That was rough.
Yeah.